Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a brand new Reiner Knizia game that's dropping at Essen called Aristocracy. In Aristocracy, a game that plays 2 to 4 players, players are trying to divvy up the land, the kingdom, fairly and equally because they're not sure what happened to the king and queen. They could have been kidnapped, could have gotten killed. They could have just left and went to Mexico and started hanging out and had a good time. So what you're doing in this is you're trying to do a little bit of area control. You're flipping these tiles that are going to have some resources or other actions. And you're trying to have a lot of your buildings out on the board in certain formations and the most different colors. So basically you're doing area majority. It's a tile flipping game with some area majority. That's essentially the gist of it. Let's go to the table and see how that plays out. Alright, so here's a game of Aristocracy, all set up for 2 players. Before I get set up, I just wanted to show you a little bit of the art in the game because I have the art covered up on here. So there's going to be player boards, which are going to have a couple different versions of art. So there's this lady, then there's this guy. So there's 4 different player boards, 2 different pieces of art on each side, and I just wanted to point that out before we get rolling. Alright, so in Aristocracy, you're going to set it up like this. You're going to put all these 8 markers on this little compass area. You're going to put the corresponding 3 numbers in the middle of each of the appropriate colors. There'll be some 2s that'll go on the outskirts. The fishes will go on the harbor. There'll be a fish marker right there. You know where they go. The 9 pointers, which mean you need to get have 9 different resources, will go up here at the top. You're going to give each player a player board, which is going to show you what you do in your turn, and buildings of individual colors. You have castles, so like this. You have churches, so like this. That is a brutal point right there too. And you have towns, which is like that. The building act is irrelevant. The shape, it's just cool that there is different shapes. It just basically, you're looking at your color, and that's all that matters. All right, so what you're gonna do on your turn, it's a pretty straightforward game. It's easy to play and shouldn't take long to show you what you're doing. So let's go ahead and get started. So on your turn, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna flip 3 tiles from anywhere face up. If there aren't any tiles to flip up, you just skip that. But since we're just starting, there's tons of tiles. So let's go ahead and flip some tiles, and then I'll go over a little bit about what the tiles are. So I have a castle, a farm, and a sheep. All right, and those are, I have this extra board that comes with the game. So I have a castle, a sheep, and what else do I have? A town. So these are in case you lose stuff. So I'm going to show you what I flip on this just to make life easier. Alright, so when you flip a tile, then you're going to take an action of one of the tiles. So if you have a resource tile, you have sheep, corn, wood, if any of those are out, you'll take all the face-up tiles of that resource and put it next to your board. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get as many resources as possible to score in-game points for one. If you have each type, so if you have all 3, you'll get 3 points. Or if you can get 9 total, you get one of those 9-point markers. If you take a city marker, you're going to take one of your buildings and put all of your buildings on all of the face-up city markers. Castles, same thing. You'll put one of your buildings on all of the face-up castle markers. So this first turn's it's not as great just because there's not a ton of stuff to do. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sheep marker, and that'll be my turn. All right. So then it's yellow player's turn. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to flip 3. So they have another castle. They'll flip this, a church, and then they will flip this and a queen. So once I use these, I'll explain a little bit of what they do. So this player is going to do castles because that's going to let them put 2 buildings out. So the castle, again, looks like that right there, in case you can't see it on the board. And I'm going to take 2 yellows. Doesn't matter. You can put the castles on it if you want. So let's just do that. So I'll put the castle here and a castle here. So I now have 2 castles in blue. And now it's back to pink's turn. And I'm going to flip here. That's a town. I'll flip here. That's a castle. I'll flip here, that's a church. So I'm going to go ahead and use the church because that's going to help me. Let me get 2 buildings out. So I'll put a church there and a church there. And that is pink's turn. All right, now back to yellow. Yellow's going to flip 3 tiles. Castle, queen, and a sheep. All right, they're going to use queens. So let me explain what queens do and kings do. So you're going to take all the queens off the board. Queen looks like this. And they're going to come over here onto the axe track, and they're going to work as an in-game marker. The game's going to end when all the queens are here and all the kings are here in a 2-player game. Now when you take a queen and you take queens or kings off the board, what you're going to do is you are going to then put out buildings into empty spaces equaling the number of queens or kings that you took off the board. So in this case I took off 2 queens, so I get to put 2 buildings anywhere that I want. There's only 3 spaces in purple, so I'll go ahead and go here, and I will go, actually I'll just go here, put in these 2. All right, and that was pink's turn. So now we're back to yellow. I need to put a building aside so I remember whose turn it is. So we're back to yellow. They're going to flip some more tiles. Another queen, a sheep, and a king. They're actually going to take sheep, so that'll give them 2 sheep because there are 2 sheep tokens out on the board. So I'm taking sheep. So they now have 2 sheep. All right. Now it's back to pink's turn. They're going to flip 3, so they'll flip these guys. So corn, corn, and corn. So I'm just going to go ahead and take corn because I flipped 3 corn. That's dumb luck, I guess. So here's what corn looks like. So I now have 4 resources for pink. All right, back to yellow. Yellow's going to flip some tiles. Let's go over here into green. So corn. Man, corn is happening. Church. Castle. All right, so they're going to do castles because there are 3 castles. So they'll do a castle here. Castle here. And a castle here. And that's it. All right, so back to pink. Pink wants to build next to a fish, so I can show you what happens there. So we got a king, a sheep, and a castle. So I'm actually going to take kings. So here's what the king looks like. He looks like this guy. I think that's the king. So there are 2 kings on the board, so they're going to come over here on the coin track. And I get to place 2 buildings out anywhere that I want. So I'm going to put a building here. When you put a building next to a harbor or a port, you get to take a fish. A fish basically functions as a wild resource to help you with the 3 different kinds for scoring. And then I get to put a building anywhere else that I want. So I'm actually going to put one right here, and I'll explain why. All right. So whenever you get 3 buildings or 5 buildings in a certain color, so I have 3 pink ones and purple, you get to take a 2-point token. Just like this. And those will be points at the end of the game. If you can get up to 5 in 2 different areas, you'll get to take the 3 from both of the colors that you're in. I may show you that, I may not, but I at least wanted to show you 3 in a color. So now we're back to yellow. And yellow's going to flip some stuff. So we got a king, a church, and a town. All right, so they're going to use towns. So they're going to put a town here, so they get a fish. They're going to put a town here, and then they're going to put a town. There's one more right here. So they are only in 2 areas. Yeah, they don't have 3 in any area yet. All right, back to pink. Pink's going to come up here, flip some of these, and they're going to use the 2 queens. So that'll let them put 2 buildings down. 2 more queens are gone. So they're going to put 2 more buildings down. So they'll put 1 here, and they will put 1. So they're in blue, purple, green. They need to be in yellow, so they'll go ahead and put 1 in yellow, right? I'll go gray. All right, and that's their turn. So they're done. Back to yellow. They're going to flip over here. Church, church, sheep. They're actually going to build churches. So we'll build a church here. We will build a church here. We will build a church here. Is that the last of the churches? No, I forgot to put one on. Oh no, never mind. All right. And one more church. There's one more church right here. All right, so now this player has 3. That's blue. Nope, they don't have 3 yet. They have 3 in blue. So they're going to get a 2 blue token right here. So they have 2 points. They have 3 in yellow. So they're going to get another 2 blue token. Or 2 yellow token. They have 3 in nowhere else. So they're done. So it's back to pink. I'm going to do some flipping. All right, I'm going to do these cities right here, because that's going to give me 3 in orange, which is really good. So you could use just cities. I'm just grabbing some buildings. So I'm doing this, and I now have 4 in orange, so I get a 2-point orange. And that's essentially how you're going to play. You're going to keep going until the king is down to this track and the queen is down to the 2 player down there. Once someone has 9, 18, 27, 36 resources, they can take a token every time you have 9. Once someone builds in every color, they get to take one of these, and they get 8 points. If they have 2 buildings in each area, they can take another one. So you're trying to build in all the buildings, get lines. All right, so let me show you what would happen. Say I did this. Let's take these off. And let's say I had buildings here like this. So I started in purple, and I'm going into blue with a 5 or higher chain. And because I did that, I'd get to take a purple 3 and a blue 3, and those would be points that I would have at the end of the game. So you're trying to get in all the territories, get continuing lines in a couple different regions, have 3 or 5 of your buildings in each color, and collect resources. At the end of the game, you're going to score points based on all these tiles that you have, every set of 3 different resources that you have, and what else? One more thing, and that's it. And then whoever has the most points is the winner, and that's how you play Aristocracy. Let's go to the top, see what they think about it. All right, so that was Aristocracy. Yeah, it's Dr. Knizia. He does his thing. He's pretty math heavy. He likes math. He likes area majority, I guess. It's kind of, similar to like Through the Desert or a game like that. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about the production of this game. The production is fantastic. These little pieces, like these castles, are amazing. The church, that point right there, that could be like something you could put in front of your door at nighttime as like a theft deterrent, a burglar deterrent. And then the town's buildings or barns or whatever look pretty neat. So there's what that looks like. So I enjoy that. The tiles on this game are super thick, like they're really thick cardboard. They have cute art on them. The board layout is really nice. You know what's going on. You can see the colors. Everything is super nice. And I also like the art on the cards. I think the little cartoony art on each of these cards is really fun. And the turn order of what you do on a turn, super easy to understand. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorite things of this game is the production. The production is top notch, high quality, normal TMG fashion. They knock it out of the park. So now let's get down to the gameplay. So I'll just tell you what I like. I'll tell you what I dislike. There'll be a little pro, if it's a pro or a con, going across the bottom. And first thing I enjoy about this game is it is super easy to teach and it plays super quickly. So I've played a couple 4-player games, and I think we played them both in 30 to 40 minutes. So it flies. It's an easy game. You're just flipping tiles and you're taking an action. The hardest part is sometimes you may have to think of what action you want to take. So there's a little bit of AP, but it's not terrible because the game's short. Next thing I like, the rule book tells you exactly what you need to do. It has everything laid out. It has what all the tiles do and the actions that you can take right there. Has some bonus art just because. Has in-game scoring right there. It's only 3 pages, 4 pages maybe, because the part of it is the cover, and then the back has setup, which is right there at a glance. So the rule book's nice. One more thing about components, it comes with this, which is amazing. Extra tokens in case you lose stuff. You don't have to punch it, they're just there. People lose tokens, and that's amazing. Next thing that I like, I enjoy the different types of ways that you can score points. So if you want, you can just collect resources. If you want, you can just build buildings in all the areas multiple times. If you want, you can just do the king and queen, speed the game along, and hope that you get more points than everybody else. So there's a lot of different things you can do here, and I enjoy that. Well, maybe 3 or 4 different things you can do, and I like that. You don't have to do the same thing every time. I enjoy the way that the area majority works. It's not super mean. You're just kind of putting a building down, and you're just trying to make lines through the desert style, or just try to get 3 colors in an area before somebody else. I enjoy that. The only con I really have is that this game is super light, and while it's fun to play, I don't particularly need to play. I don't feel compelled to come back to this when I have other area control games that do similar pieces and just give me a little bit more fulfillment and enjoyment. Still a great game. I still enjoy playing it the times that I played it. I just don't feel like it's going to be one that I'm going to say, hey, you know, let's play Aristocracy when I could play The Godfather or another area control type game like this. Even Through the Desert. I think Through the Desert is, to me, more enjoyable than this. But yeah, I like it. Look for it at Essen. It's super fun. It's well made, well produced, and easy to play, gamers, non-gamers alike. So that is Aristocracy. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.